Hello everyone. So thank you for joining in. So today we are going to start with SAP Fieldglass. Another scenario. Use in this scenario, we'll be talking more about the supply use cases. So I hope you have completed all of your assignment last time. So let me share my screen. So let me first log in as a supplier. So if you see here, I'll be now logging as a supplier. This is my SAP Fieldglass screen. Okay. So as soon as I log in, I can see the active job posting. Okay. If you want to go inside it, this is like a dashboard. So let me go inside it. So if I go inside the dashboard, you can see all the active job posting which are done. You can see that. So I can see there are 12 job postings already there. So like account, pay list, analyst, automotive warehouse. And for each and every job posting, whatever you can see in the left-hand side, the right-hand side, you can see their status, the different status and who is the buyer. Okay, so the buyer means the hiring manager or the person who is actually buying the talent from the talent marketplace. Or you can say the from the gig economy marketplace. So you can see in the right-hand side how many job seekers are there, whether their work orders is created, whether they've submitted their resume or not, and what is the cycle time for the job posting. I can see all those details. And we use the term particularly work order in this scenario, work order creation, work order acceptance, and work order activation, worker registration. So these are very much specific to your contingent worker or your contractual worker, specifically in the Fieldglass. We use all these terminologies. And also see that you can see the cycle times for that job seeker submission took 56 days and buyer review took 1 day. All those details I can see that. So here, this is how the active job posting we can see. Other than that, if I go to the home page, I can see many more things. I can see the summary of what are all the work items which I'm having as a supplier user. I can see job posting respond, I have to do one, and worker activity mark as a complete 37. So if you want to see here, I can go further. So these are the 37 activities which you've already done. So means about to complete it. You can see onboarding activity has been, but this onboarding is different from your this factor onboarding. So this is something Fieldglass related topic. Okay, so you can see that onboarding action for each and every person, for each and every activity, you can see all those details. You can track all those details for that onboarding activity for from the vendor and all, right? So this is a little different than what we see in the success factor recruiting onboarding process. Similarly, the job posting respond, I do have, if I apply filter, I have only one activity. So this is somebody has posted this job, whether I have to, as a supplier, I have to submit the job seeker. So this is the job posting has been done. And if I want to put a apply means submit the job seeker as a supplier, right? So these are the different work items category you can see as a supplier from here. Similarly, if I go here and I do have total 102 workers in my database, the supplier database. So these are the people who are the talent basically or the gig worker for whom actually whatever the job posting is coming in. So I have to supply this talent to those marketplace, right? So this is something the worker list we do have, right? Similarly, if I want to go see and any of the profile, I can go and see that profile as well, or that worker profile. It's just a Just like in your recruiting module in SuccessFactors, we have a candidate profile. It is very similar to that. You can see that here, right? So if I go inside, you can go and see the profile of that worker. Okay, you can see the person is having worker ID and from which period to which period he's available and who is the buyer. And below that, we can see those details, accounting details like, so what will be the cost center, worker details type. Okay, all those details you can find it out here. Start date, end date, personal information. Okay, so these are the different things you can see. Similarly, the activity items, if I go, I can see what are the different activity. So for this person, onboarding activity is already completed. So I can see that it is in completion status, right? Similarly, any kind of activity has been done for this employee. We can see those revisions, any kind of, suppose the pay rate has been changed or any revised, you can see those version 0, 1, 2, all these details here. Similarly, as a supplier, suppose the timesheet submission, any kind of timesheet submission, or if anything you like to do, so that I can do it from here. Okay. So all those options are available here. Time and expense, right? Any kind of credit debit memo, any kind of invoice I have to put it, or if you want to download anything, all those details I can download or upload here. Similarly, any kind of approvals. Okay, so at present I do not have anything, but if you want to audit, so those audit trails also will be available readily from here, right? So any kind of a documentation also you have submitted. So as a job seeker, Rajesh has submitted the work order and all those details you can find out from here, right? So that is how this is a supplier. You can see all those candidates, right? That. Similarly, we have seen other than the worker list, we can also see the SOW, that is the statements of work. Okay, so there are 89 statements of work you can find out here in SuccessFactors Fieldglass for this supplier, right? So you can see those SOWs are here already. So if I see if any of the SOW I open or statement of work, we can see what are the details are available here. So as a supplier, you can see both the candidate as well as those statement of work. Okay, so this is one of the SOW and it has been approved, right? And below that, you can see those buyer details, supplier reference, and who is the purchase unit, what is the location, right? And similarly, in the posting information, you can see all those person who have approved, those accounting details, everything you can find out here. Same goes with your activity items, right? So at present, I do not have any activity items. So for that reason, for this SOW, I have it is blank. So similarly here, then characteristics, if you want to add anything, you can see here who are the what are the different characteristics of this SOW. You can find out them in detail here. So that is at this moment not very important, but for your understanding, it is good if you understand each and every sections of it. Maybe it will be helpful for you. So I can see the event section is at 10. Okay. Or if any schedules, fees, anything is there, against that, if any committed amount is there, you can find out from here. Right? Similarly, SOW workers also, you can see, you can find out who are the workers for this SOW. So we can see there are two persons or worker has been confirmed, okay, against this work order, and their time and expenses, if any, that can also be put it here. Okay. So this is a overview of a SOW. If you want to go further details, we will be having a deep dive session on this. But at this moment, I'm just telling the user story from a supplier user for the options which you have, right? So we have covered the my work items. As a supplier, you can see the job posting, worker activity, or number of workers, statement of work, active job postings. We have seen all these things. And recently also, whatever you have viewed, that you can see it from here, right? Then in the view sections, you can see there are a lot of information here. So similar thing, like at a worker level, we can see the worker, work order, workforce, activity item, offboarding activity, milestone, time sheet, expense sheet, absences, all these things you can see. At a contingent level, so you can see the job posting and the job seeker, right? So these are the two things you can see. So at a services level, you can see the statement of work, SOW bid, SOW line item, right? Similarly, at the payment level, you can see in all the invoices, any kind of a credit debit memo, any kind of miscellaneous invoices there, right? That also you can see. And at the buyer side, you can see the supplier qualification form, supplier improvement plan. Okay, you can view the buyers, everything you can see. So this is at overall level, particular things you can see, any kind of interviews pending, okay, any kind of active job posting, work items, or anything you have started, you can see all those details. So you can see at present, I don't think any interview is scheduled. Otherwise, you can see that, right? So now what I'm going to do, let's see if any of the things we can see here. So from a contingent level point of view, if I go to the job posting, which we have already seen it. So, but now from the view side, we have seen all what of the jobs have been posted. Suppose I want to filter them out, let's say within last 1 week. Let's say today is the 9th of July. Only from 5th of July to today's date, I would like to see how many jobs have been posted. Let's say June 1st to today's date, that is 9th of July. If I want to apply filter, I can see. So I can see so many jobs have been posted, and I can see also there are bulk hiring. So there are 300 positions in some of the job. There are 300 openings are there in some of the jobs. There are talents also available. Okay, so I can see all those details directly from here. So this was all about the job posting, how I can see as a supplier of the talent. So similarly, mostly the agencies also sometimes they work in this way, right? So you can think about like an agency in success factor recruiting, but it's a little more wider because it has a lot of other functionalities as well. It comes in built in Fieldglass, which is not there in success factor. So similarly, when it comes to the job seeker, I can see, so from a job seeker point of view, I can see there are different job seeker. And for last session, we have seen this ID for whom the work order was pending approval, right? So similarly, the work order got activated, confirmed, who has confirmed. Okay. So all those details we can see it from here, right? So from a job seeker point of view, I can see that. Similarly, from a service point of view, if I want to see statement of work, which we've already seen it, so that we check called SOW, right? So SOW, you can view it. Similarly, any kind of SOW bid somebody has put, so that also you can see. But I don't see at present somebody has SOW bid. So for that reason, it's coming as a blank. Or SOW line item also, any kind of a line item in that SOW you want to see, you can see that as well, right? So any kind of an event or a specific SOW ID, if you want to see it, you can always view it from here. Right. So now let's move on. If you have any questions, you can put in the chat, or if you're watching it from a YouTube, you just post there. So SOW is here, like this is how a typical SOW looks like, which we have seen, right? So now coming to the worker part, this is very similar, which who are the people who are actually part of your database. Okay, all the SL. So you can see there are 53 items already in your database. Okay, so they are the all worker. Similarly, the work orders also we can see how many work orders are there. There are 64 items, including all the statuses, whether it is accepted, created, or it is confirmed. You can see it from here, right? So these are the things. Similarly, we do have any kind of time sheet if you want to see. Suppose for any of the employee, I don't think I have any active one. But otherwise, we can see those time sheet. They are, if you want any draft time sheet is there, you can see that, right? So all these things we can see for so many draft time sheets are there. So this is how a typical time sheet looks like, right? So this is maximum expense. If I want to go here, I can see those details, time sheet. So these are in all draft mode. Okay. So we have, if I go inside it, the inside of time sheet. I can see how much time here they have worked. Okay, if I want to change any of the things, I can change it, right? So we have here Monday to Friday, all the details and how many day, number of hours per day, and similarly total. Okay, so this is how the time set will be looking like from a supplier point of view. Okay, suppose if I want to add it here, so simply I have to edit it, and let's say I'll be putting 8 hours each, like that, 8 hours. And also I have a comment section if you see here, right? So I can also write some comment here. So here I can write, let's say, testing new release. Just I'm putting here like that. Okay, so this is the way I can put it here, my time sheet as a supplier, right? So what it is going to happen, it will be updated via your update integrations, right? So I will simply submit it. Okay, so again, there will be a confirmation message saying submit timesheet. Submit it. Then the timesheet has been submitted, right? So this is the process how we follow. As a supplier, you can submit your timesheet on behalf of your worker. Okay, so in this way you can do it. Now coming to your other part, you can also have see an option of milestone. So if I go, I don't have anything inside this now for the time being. Maybe some other session will be covering this. So now coming to most important part is supplier. What are the things you can do from scratch? So as supplier, you can also create a workforce. Suppose any new talent is coming up, and if you want to onboard them in your supplier database, right, as a talent pool, you can create that as a workforce. And in the right hand side, you can see the we can also create an SOW invoice. Okay, so that invoice will be created by you, and you have to send it to the buyer organization, and they will be paying that to you. So these two activity today we are going to see, and then we will complete today's sessions. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. So now going to the workforce, we have a very simple 2 steps. We have a setup and review and submit, right? So we can, while creating a profile, you can put a code here. So this is just for your reference. Let's say I'll be putting FT0001, Avinash Sarma, the last name. Employee ID, let's say I'll putting some random number. Designation, let's say data architect. Unavailable date range. So this is something optional. Okay, so you can say I can skip it. Willing to travel? Yes. Interested in full-time, part-time, full-time, part-time, not specified. So I will just say full-time. Visible to all buyers? Let's say yes. Available to all buyers? Let's say yes. So this was resume. So I will be putting some random thing here. Let's see, I have anything. Get my PC. Otherwise, what I will do for the timing, I will create a dummy file, and we will put that. So I will save it in my desktop. So what I will do, I will simply choose that file from here. MC file. So once it is done, simply I will attach it from here. Yes. So the further information I can put it from here, like profile picture, I'm not putting here now. So otherwise, I will put the address like this. Let's say 7 Saket, Delhi. Optional, phone number optional. So I'm just putting it like this. Accounting. So let's say these are all things. So I can put it like pay rate, let's say 200 USD per hour. This is also 200 USD per hour. And job code qualification attachment again. So anything is, it is very specific. I will put that here. So let's say I don't have any options here, but yeah. So yeah, suppose this data scientist, I'll put it here like that. And add selected. Where it went. Let's say yes. So already this is already selected. Update. So now this is the job code. Similar the qualifications also, if I need it, I can put it here. So let's say is we are hiring someone from data. Let's see. I should expect he should be knowing, let's say SAS. And after doing that, I'll be adding a selected one. Right. So what I will do, simply I will select that. Then we have added that selected one. So I do not have any attachments. So let's say we'll continue. Then finally, it will be asking for reviewing and submit. Whatever, it's very simple two-step process. You have to, whenever you're creating the workforce, simply you have to set up in the all the details of your candidates. You have to, those contractual candidates, you have to submit there. And after doing that, you have to also review, then submit it finally. So in this way, you can create a workforce. It is very simple process. I don't think it will require any further clarifications. So we can see everything, whatever you have submitted, you can see all those details here. Okay. So any kind of changes also you are doing that you can identify from here. Yeah. So this is my workforce, which I have created. Abhilash Sharma, and workforce ID will be generated for that. Right. So similarly, whenever you are creating such kind of workforce, you can always download their CV, and against that. So the last time we have already created, but that was from a different stream. So here from the supplier side, we have created. And also if you want to view it, you can also view that. Their CV, inline CV, you can view it. Okay. So all those details you can view it, visualize from here. Right. So this is how you're going to create a workforce or a candidate, you can say, you can identify from here. Right. So now we will be moving to the next segment. And before that, if any questions, I will take a pause here. If you have any question, you can always ask. Right. Now, I don't think any questions are there. Let's move on to the next one. So here we're going to create an invoice. That's the last part of the supplier side. So in creating a SOW invoice, we would like to see how does it look like. So whenever you are going to create an on invoice, first of all, they will be asking to select a statement of work. Okay. So at present, we don't have any, but let's see. thing is there. Okay. So end date is this much, but let's say so I don't think we are having any valid invoice which you can create, but let's see if anything is coming up. Let's see. Okay, so no problem. So what we'll be doing, so basically, but this is the process where exactly to come. So maybe in some other sessions we'll be continue from here. So statement of work. So basically, you can see here also, like if you want to see any of these things, let's say any existing one. Okay, so this is an existing one invoice, right? Let's see. Okay, so this invoice is a pending approval. Okay, so the buyer actually needs to approve. So whenever you are sending any kind of invoice or expense sheet or any kind of adjustment and correction, that will go to the buyer. Those people, they have to approve it. Then only after that you'll be getting paid. Okay, so those details you can see all the details from here, right? So if you want to also see any kind of credit debit name memo, you can see that from here. Okay, so yeah. So similarly, from a buyer side also, there are three things you can see: supplier qualification form, supplier improvement plan. Okay, so in one of the upcoming sessions, maybe we will be discussing that this one as well. Okay, so I think that's all for the time being. So I've just given a overview just to summarize what we have seen today. So we have seen today in the SAP Fieldglass the supplier, what are the different options we do have. We have seen the work items, we do have an option to for seeing those job posting and also the worker activity we can track, right? So similarly, we have seen the workers and statement of work, right? And in the active job posting, we can see in a single view, we can see what are the job has been already posted and those detailed status, okay? We can always track, right? The job seekers, items to complete, everything we can track it from here. So towards the end, we have seen how to create a workforce and SOW invoice, how to create it. That will be seen in some other lab sessions. Okay. So for the timing, this is just one now, and also we can see any of the task is pending and everything. So one is 37. It is also available in your work items, and also it will be available in your task list in your work items menu. You can see it from here. Any kind of notifications you want to see. So all those notifications you can visualize. You can view it from here. Okay. So this is like a message center, you can say. Okay. So this is looks like very similar to your mailbox. Okay. So you don't have to see your any kind of mailbox, rather directly you can view it from here. Okay. So that's all for the time being. So hope you enjoyed the sessions. Any of these questions, comments, feedback, if you have, just post them in my platform. And if you're watching from YouTube also or any social media, so just post that, and I would like to take your questions or anything. Okay. So thank you very much for tuning in. Looking forward to the next sessions.